It is one of those journeys. The closer they get to their destination, the harder it is to imagine that they'll ever actually arrive. There is always another bend in the road, a judder to the dead end of a farm track. And it is getting late, too late. Warm summer rain is drumming on the roof of the car. I say we cut our losses and head back to the B&B. John cranes over the steering wheel to get a better view of the road liquefying behind the windscreen. Grab a pint and plan a wedding somewhere within the M25. What do you reckon? Lorna draws a house with her fingertip in the condensation on the window. Roof, chimney, squiggle of smoke. Don't think so, darling. Somewhere with a sunny microclimate, perhaps. Ha! Funny. Despite the disappointments of the day so far, none of the wedding venues has lived up to expectation. Too much overpriced chintz. Lorna is quite happy. There is something exhilarating about driving through this wild weather with the man she is to marry, just the two of them cocooned in their wheezing little red Fiat. When they're old and grey, they'll remember this journey, she thinks, being young and in love and in a car in the rain. Great. John frowns at a looming dark shape in the mirror. All I need now is a massive bloody tractor at my backside. He stops at a crossroads, where various signs, bent by the wind, point in directions that bear little relation to the angle of the corresponding roads. Now where? Are we lost? She teases, enjoying the idea. The sat-nav is lost. We seem to have gone off-grid, only in your beloved Cornwall. Lorna smiles. John's is a boyish, uncomplicated grumpiness, one that will evaporate with the first sign of the house or a cold beer. He doesn't internalise things like she does, or make obstacles symbolic of other stuff. Right. He nods at the map on Lorna's lap, which is scattered with biscuit crumbs and folded haphazardly. How are your map-reading skills coming along, sweetheart? Well, she scrabbles the map open, bouncing the crumbs off to join the empty water bottles rolling on the sandy car floor. According to my rough cartological calculations, we're currently driving through the Atlantic. John huffs back in his seat, stretches out his legs, too long for the small car. Brilliant. Lorna leans over, strokes his thigh where muscle fades the denim. She knows he's tired of driving down unfamiliar roads in the rain, touring wedding venues, this one, farthest away, hardest to find, saved for last. They would be on the Amalfi coast if she hadn't insisted that they come to Cornwall instead. If John's patience is wearing thin, she can hardly blame him. John proposed back at Christmas, months ago, pine needles crunching beneath his bended knee. For a long time, that was enough. She loved being engaged, that state of blissful suspension. They belonged to each other, but they still woke up every morning and chose to be together. She worried about jinxing that easy happiness. Anyway, there was no mad rush. They had all the time in the world. Then, they didn't. When Lorna's mother died unexpectedly in May, grief punched her back to earth, and the wedding suddenly felt inescapably, brutally urgent. Her mother's death was a reminder not to wait, not to put things on hold, or forget that a black date is circled on everyone's calendar, flipping ever closer. Disorienting, but also oddly life-affirming, it made her want to grab life in her fists, totter through the litter of Bethnal Green Road on a drizzly Sunday morning in her lucky red heels. This morning, she wiggled herself into a sunshine-yellow vintage 60s sundress. If she can't wear it now, when? John changes gears, yawns. What's the place called again, Lorna? Pencraw, she says brightly, trying to keep his spirits up, mindful that if it were up to John, they'd simply stuff his large, sprawling family into a marquee in his parents' Essex garden and be done with it. Then they'd move down the road, near his adoring sisters, swapping their tiny city flat for a suburban house with a lawn sprinkler, so his mother, Lorraine, could help with all the babies that would swiftly follow. Thankfully, it is not up to John. Pencraw Hall. He runs a hand through his corn-coloured hair, sun-bleached almost white at the tips. One more shot. She beams back. She loves this man. To hell with it. Let's go this way. We've got a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. Hopefully we'll shake the tractor. He presses his foot hard on the gas. They don't shake it. The rain continues to fall. The windscreen is mashed with cow parsley petals, pushed into snowy drifts by the squeaking wipers. Lorna's heart beats a little faster beneath the crisp cotton of her dress. Even though she can't see much beyond the rivulets of rain running down the window, she knows that the wooded valleys, river creeks, and deserted little coves of the Roseland Peninsula lie beyond the glass, and she can sense them already, hulking out there in the mist. She remembers being on these roads as a kid. They visited Cornwall most summers, and how the sea air would rush through the wound-down window, blowing away the last trapped bits of grimy Greater London and the stitch of tension on her mother's face. An anxious woman, her mother suffered from insomnia all her life. The seaside seemed to be the only place she could sleep. When Lorna was little, she wondered if the Cornish air swirled with strange, sleepy fumes, like the poppy field in The Wizard of Oz. Now, a small voice in her head cannot help wondering if it swirls with family secrets. But she decides to keep this thought to herself.